What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Real Estate Podcast, episode 227. I'm here with Griffin.
I'm here with Trav.
I'm here with Adam.
And this week we watched The Green Knight.
We
fucking
finally
did a flip on y'all.
Yeah.
Which we said, we was like, we're going to watch Snake Eyes, but, you know.
If we have the opportunity to watch Green Knight.
Yeah, we'll push Snake Eyes back a week.
Yeah. Which, I mean, if you guys, if this is your first foray into real estate, I've been personally pumped about this film
Since we saw the trailer.
like, yeah, dude, A24 set in this time period with like taking on some like, you know, King Arthur shit. It's like, what the fuck's going to happen? Like, how's this going to play out? And I was very fascinated by it, of course. And we finally got the opportunity to watch it, man. And
it was something to see.
I was not disappointed.
Didn't y'all feel that they used some kind of lenses in certain spots? And when I first noticed it, whenever he first got on the horse and he was walking down that thing and the kids were following him, I was like, man, I don't know what kind of lens this is, but it looks crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And then again in the forest when it was panning around,
Yeah.
I was like, man, this looks weird. Like, I wonder what they did.
It's like it was still, like it tried to, I don't know, it seemed like it was very, very dreamlike.
So,
Yeah.
a lot of people online were complaining that this movie didn't have a lot of action in it, right? So I heard that before I watched it. So I went in knowing that.
Yeah.
Because, when you see the trailer, it's just like, what? What's happening? And you might think there's going to be, but by knowing that did help. It was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
At least I didn't go in like, ooh.
Well, A24 is kind of like a, like once you see that logo, you're like,
it's a thinking man's movie right here.
It's either going to be complete dog shit or it's going to be a movie where you got to shut up and listen to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to give you stuff to chew on while you're watching.
I was all ears, dude. I didn't even look at Twitter.
Yeah, right.
I was afraid I was going to miss something.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, same.
Some bad lieutenant decisions here.
Yeah.
Hanging out in the brothel on Christmas, not being in church.
Yeah.
So this dude's in line. King Arthur didn't have any kids of his own. And this is his nephew.
But his sister did.
Yeah. What was weird about that was it was like, I'm like, that's your uncle?
Yeah, exactly, right. Well, who's your dad?
Nothing alike,
Yeah.
Let me see the milkman. Let me see the stable boy.
Yeah, what's he toting over there?
But so this guy's in line and dude, King Arthur, man. I mean,
yeah.
Nobody's more noble than King Arthur.
No.
I mean,
no.
They had to whip this motherfucker into shape.
Yeah. Well, and you kind of see like a lot of it is the boy's fault, but at the same time, a lot of it is the people around him's fault. Well, I'm just saying, like at the start of the film, because like even King Arthur was like, you're my nephew, and we haven't spent a lot of time together.
Yeah.
Tell me a story.
Come up here and sit with me.
Yeah.
So like he didn't take him under his wing when he was younger.
Yeah.
And,
exactly.
Make something out of him.
Yeah.
Like they didn't go to battle together. They didn't.
Yeah. Which Arthur was busy, but still though. Yeah.
What'd y'all think about Merlin?
I mean? He was fucking creepy.
He was pretty cool. And it was a little tattoos.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like whenever the Green Knight came in, Merlin, King Arthur looked at Merlin. Merlin shook his head like, mm-mm.
Yeah.
And it was like, I was like, okay, heard.
Yeah.
Heard.
Yeah.
He was like, mm-mm. So his mother conjures this shit up. She summoned the Green Knight when she was doing that shit at the beginning.
Yeah.
I think they were in on it, what was happening here.
Well, it was
let's see if he's worthy. Well, it was the golden child.
Coming of age.
You know what I'm saying? Don't drink the water. And don't spill it.
Come of age,
Yeah. You're not a knight. He was like, yeah.
Well, I mean, despite the artistic liberties the guy took, it did set itself up like classic Arthurian legend.
Yeah.
Morgan Le Fay is wanting to fuck on them a little bit, so
Yeah.
it almost seemed like she wanted to test him in the movie, but it was a case of like thinking somebody else was going to show up. But it was like, oh fuck, it's my kid. Okay,
Yeah.
this is cool. I like uncertainty.
Yeah. Well, and the liberties that they did take, I think, was a nice change. You know, a kind of it was a very fresh take on the story or the poem.
Well, it made me think of an older movie we watched, A Field in England,
Mm-hmm.
where they're all tripping balls in that field.
Yeah.
Because like the minute dude hits the forest, it kind of becomes an acid trip in a way. And
Yeah.
I thought one of the coolest lines of the movie was when he's like, uh, when he gets ambushed, which surely no one would see that coming a mile away.
I know,
But
right?
yeah, I was like, the minute they showed that guy out at the crossroads, I was like, he's gonna fuck him over. But the whole point when he's asking me, he's like, where's the green chapel? And dude's like, you're in it. Like I was kind of like, oh, I want this like stay weird the rest of the movie, and it does. But
Yeah.
it's with it being the type of movie that it is a slow burn in that regard.
Yeah. So I mean that's his first trial though, right? You know, the boy.
Whoa, kindness.
Yeah,
Like
kindness.
he didn't offer. He didn't, dude. Here, like if I ride in there, it's just me, guys, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
on this mission. And the
And I've
boy's
never been
like,
out of the
my
kingdom.
dead brothers are out here somewhere. I'd be like, well, let me just try to like help you find them. Let me
Yeah,
look around with you
right.
for a minute. I mean, something. He didn't pass
Yeah.
that test,
No.
and he flipped him a coin. Well, like he fucked up and did the same thing later. Like when the girl was like, "Go down there and get my head." He was like, "What are you gonna give me for it?" She was like, "Don't fucking ask that,
Yeah, like what the fuck,
dude. Just go
man?
get it.
Yeah.
Why you always want something?"
Don't be
Yeah.
don't be a chud when you could be a Chad, dude.
Yeah.
That kid was just hopping around. You look like
Yeah,
a
just
knight.
having a
Are you a knight?
yeah,
My dead brothers
like
are out here somewhere. And then
yeah,
like
it's
for a
like
second, didn't he like start crying? Then just came out of it.
yeah,
He was like, "I was supposed to be out here with him." Well, how you doing? It was like
yeah.
it
This
felt
is a
like a
little
test. I was like, something's going on here.
yeah, somebody's fucking
Well,
taking an
anytime
essay
you
over
roll
here.
in somewhere and the words come up on the screen, it's like, oh, here we go.
Then
Yeah. So
he started doing the whole, well, what are you gonna give me for that information?
Yeah,
yeah.
What do you is that all, like really a thank you?
that's
That's
it.
yeah.
And he flipped him a coin. Well, then later when they, tie him up, took his shit, he was like, wasn't enough.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
How trippy was it when he's tied up to that tree, sees himself all fucking like
Dead.
skeletoned out and shit?
Shit, I thought he was just dead. I was like, what the fuck? Did this movie just took a turn for the worse? Like, and then it turned back around and it's like, okay, I got to get loose.
Yeah.
It just
With
cuts
my
to it cuts to the skeleton. You just hear Matt Berry go, "You thought this film was about Sir Gawain, didn't you?"
Well, so here, see, it's like, dude, he kept fucking up and doing the
yeah.
wrong shit, but he kept going.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
that boy was like, I'll handle your journey, knight. And he hopped on the horse with the axe and rode off. He could have just got up and went back home,
Yeah, he's like, fuck
but
it.
he kept going.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, there's still hope then. I mean, he was fucking eating magic mushrooms.
Yeah.
I mean we know that the bad lieutenant decision was like he should have paid attention to that letter a
What it
little
said.
bit more. He was
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
it could be a nick
a
or like
Nick.
he should have fenced his ass and just checked him
Yeah,
at the on the chest plate
because
like haha
because the way that like he's the Green Knight, and he steps up as a knight, and he's like, "I'll defend you. I'll do it."
Yeah.
But the way that
and
he
it,
kills the Green Knight, that was just not a very noble. Like knights wouldn't do shit like that. It's
No.
like,
well
no, sir,
yeah
you got to
well
make a move, sir. I'm not just gonna cut your head off. Like, it wasn't a very noble thing he did by doing it that way.
well it's it
But he didn't know that
and that
motherfucker was gonna get back up. You know?
but that was one of but at the same time that's what while it's cool it's also one of the dumbest parts of the movie because regardless of whether it's a 16th century brain in that fucker's head or not, like even at that point, the minute Homeboy laid the axe down, I'd have been like, something's fucked up. He's not gonna come at me like that.
Well, he told him in the letter, he's like, you strike me today, and then a year from now, I get to do the same.
Yeah.
He could have just did a little nick on the hand, dude.
Yeah.
We're done
But
here. See
no.
you in a year.
Well, he was wanting to show out in front of Unc.
He wanted the
you know?
honor. He
Yeah.
wanted the.
Well,
Nobody in the room was willing to step up and do it, so he was like, I got this shit.
Well, I get it that like the metaphor of the movie is like, don't jump the gun on shit. Because I mean because that's the lesson he learns more
Yeah.
or less is, you know, you don't have to go hard all the time.
And it's like that happens. All right, he decapitates the Green Knight. Green Knight picks his head up 1 year, you know.
Yeah. Laughs when he's leaving.
Yeah, yeah. And then he spends the whole year drinking, like getting
pisses
praises.
it away.
Yeah, like no training, no nut. He could have fucking got on that Corey Taylor neck regiment and been probably fine. You know, like stop the fucking axe swing with that, you know? But
Well, I mean, and also never mind the fact that like just look at the fucking thing that just walked in and asked, you
yeah,
know, to fight, and it's something on a level of magic that even Merlin's not gonna fuck with it. I mean, that's pretty telling.
Yeah,
Like
dude. He was like,
if the
Yeah.
wizard backs off, fucking don't engage. You
yeah,
know.
exactly.
It's like that mission ain't for you.
No,
He's
you haven't
next
made
in
it this
line.
far. Yeah, you're not leveled up enough for this.
I like how they
yeah,
based it on the poem, but they changed it up a little.
I like that a lot,
Yeah.
man. For real.
Because we looked the poem up back when we heard about the movie. We looked up the poem, and remember they had made a movie.
Yeah.
Was it Sean Connery that was in it?
Yeah, he played the Green. No,
I think he did.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that one plays out completely different. You know.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So was Edgerton pulling double duty? Was he the Green Knight as well?
Yeah.
It's in the poem. Those two people are the same.
I think a different actor played the Green Knight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was somebody. It was his voice and kind of had his likeness.
Yeah.
You know. And that was the whole thing. Like when he ran up on the boy, that was a part of the test.
Yeah.
Like all of that was staged. The woman with the head, like everything was just staged. Like.
Yeah.
And he just kept fucking it up.
Yeah. And what's bad is like he thought that he was doing the right thing.
We had tunnel vision.
Yeah, exactly.
I just got to get there. None of this work. None of this matters. What's going on in the world? Like he had tunnel vision on the mission, and it was like, no, dude, you're going to be a king.
Like
all of this matters.
He quests to quest again.
Yeah.
And that's what's so like amazing. And I love how you go from scene to scene, from trial to trial, and it had a really good flow to it. Even building up to the fox thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it just the way that it moved from scene to scene and from set piece to set piece, and how the story, the pacing of the story, in my opinion, was very well done. Because like when he rolls up on that house and he's like, well, this shit's, everything's falling apart. It's dark in
no
here.
one lives
he gets
here.
woke. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gets woke up in the middle of the night. Oh, I'll leave.
And that was another fail, like going in and getting in someone's bed.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, what are you doing, man?
Yeah. It's like, come on, man.
Well, like when he went in there and looked at the table, it was like he picked a piece of bread up and it just crumbled. It was like, oh.
Yeah.
That's extra toasty.
And as much as I was enjoying the film, there was one point at about an hour in where I'm like, dude, the star of this movie is the fog.
Well, that's one thing.
Like props to the fog machine guys. Like they fucking did double duty on this movie.
Yeah. But the way that, like, I love whenever he was in the at the beginning of the film, whenever he's in the castle doing his thing, and it's like everything is clear, like that's in focus.
Yeah.
But everything out of focus is like hard to be a god. You know what I mean? Like it's all fucked up.
The architecture of Camelot, when I saw him rolling in on that horse, I was like, hard to be a god.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Right.
I was waiting for some ass cheeks to pop out of that window.
Yeah, I know. Somebody to
People
shit
start
fucking on
throwing
the
shit.
ground. Yeah, I was like,
The
I'm
way
ready for
the
this.
way they did the quote unquote round table was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, the design of that shit was cool, and it was cool how they had that like, Ark of the Covenant little light thing,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
that
Uh,
shined like right in the middle of the room.
Like, meanwhile, at the Hall of Justice.
And
Yeah,
that's the thing. When it started, it shows him as king,
yeah,
and his head catches on fire,
yeah,
and then you just get right into it, and it's like, oh, what's happening? Like, what
yeah.
are we doing here?
I was like, the whole time throughout the movie, I'm like, this is a Cradle music video that just never cuts to the music.
Yeah,
Like, every scene is like a build up to
Well, it even
like,
kind of when that at the beginning when it was talking over it,
yeah.
the
yeah.
darkness creeps in, the fog,
Let
you
me
know.
let me tell you a tale from my flaming head.
The cast, like, how good was this cast,
Oh yeah,
man? Like, all right, the guy that played the main character, fucking incredible. Like, he needs to
he's
be
gonna end up
cast in a
winning
Marvel.
something at some point.
He needs to,
Yeah,
yeah.
he'll get something
He was
because he did a good
fucking
job.
great. Yeah. The guy that played King Arthur, loved him.
Yeah,
Even though he wasn't on screen a lot or anything like that, he felt like how
he
I would
did old
imagine
man
King
King
Arthur.
Arthur, dude.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Well,
black
like
bags under his eyes and everything. Like so weak he
it
could
was
barely lift the sword.
he played King Creep, man. Like, because the like anytime you see those old like paintings and stuff that's in like museums or whatnot that depicts like ancient kings and shit, and they always have that crazy sun crown shit going on, and just like
Yeah.
that just gives me an eerie vibe regardless of its intent. I'm like, that's just fucking that's some creepy shit because you'd like to think at some point that that shit was actually going on where you had someone who felt he was anointed by God to fucking lead the world. Like that's all. Like, he ain't got to explain shit. It's like, God told me,
Yeah.
and everyone else is like, yeah, dude, God spoke to him, bro.
I
Like,
thought it was cool too when they're in the bed and she's like, "What did you do?" And he's like, "Well, King Arthur gave me his sword." Notice how they never call it Excalibur.
Yeah,
And she was like,
yeah.
"Oh, you got to hold it?" And he was like, "Yeah," you know. And you get what they're talking about. It's like, oh, I know we know what they're
Yeah.
talking about, but they never called it that.
Yeah.
And then of course when he gives him the sword. Oh, but when you
Yeah.
see him knight him and it's like it's all, he didn't do what he's supposed to do. Like that was cool how he had that, because I thought that shit was really happening.
I did
I was
too.
like, oh,
Yeah.
we're just watching everything crumble, dude. Just go back, man. Go
Yeah.
back and let him cut your fucking head off. Like this ain't worth it.
No.
He's
And
like
how
banging
fucked up?
chicks with that sash on. Like he never wanted to take it off.
and
No.
then it totally turns into scary stories to tell in the dark.
He was like, wait, pulls it off.
Yeah.
And the knight was like, did you see like when he first goes in there? How long did he sit there before that motherfucker woke up?
He was
And
well.
he opened
He
his
said,
eyes and looked at him
yeah, and
because
he's
you could
like,
see his eyes looking at him.
I forgot.
He's like, man, has it already been a year?
Yeah. Fuck.
Fucking
He said, you
Christmas,
good
I'm
sir.
telling you.
Is it Christmas? And he's like, aye.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, he showed up. How cool did
Yeah.
the fucking Green Knight look, man?
Yeah. That he looked fucking very, and like, he was very intimidating looking. That voice was incredible, but like his demeanor and everything,
Yeah.
like I don't just the contrast between his look and his how he sounded versus like he's he was a knight. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like he was noble. Like he was there to do a fucking job. Like he got summoned to do, and it's like he just wanted this motherfucker to learn.
Yeah. Test the boy.
Yeah, and like he did his job. But like that, my favorite part of the film was the very end of it. Whenever like he comes out of it and he's like, "Are you ready?" And he's like, hold on. And he takes the thing off and takes the sash off and throws it on the
Oh,
ground. That exchange that they
yeah.
have right
It
there.
was like a
It
sigh of
was
relief from the night. And he walked down the
yeah,
steps, took a
yeah.
knee.
You know what someone should do? They should mute the footage or whatever from that and have it lined up with the beginning of Omerta from Lamb of God, because that's pretty much what that whole moment was.
Yeah.
Where Randy Blythe's doing the whole whoever appeals against the law gets his fellow man, blah 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 blah, suck a dick, dog. Like,
And I love how they ended it, where you don't actually see what happened.
He doesn't kill him.
But no, but
He
they
passed
leave
the
it
test.
open
Yeah.
ended enough. Yeah.
There was three
he
outcomes there.
He chopped that motherfucker's head off.
Well,
dude.
I'm just
Come
going
on.
by the poem, dude. In the poem, he nicks him and he goes back and he like nicks him in the hand.
I think he went full fucking Red Skull. So
But he finally passed the test.
Yeah.
He
too
wasn't
little,
afraid.
too late.
He said, "There's my noble knight."
Yeah.
And he said he run his finger across his neck and said, "Off with his head."
I love that. I love that exchange right there. It's so well fucking done. Like the delivery was perfect, man.
Yeah, at first he kind of laughed a little bit. He was like, "You flinched, knight, sir. You flinched." And he's like, "Yeah, dude, you're about to cut my fucking head off, man."
Yeah. And then he's like, "Wait a minute," and he's like, "When you're ready." Like that
Yeah.
whole exchange, right? Like that.
He was giving him a chance.
Yeah, and you
Because
expect
even with that sash on, he was gonna chop his fucking head off.
Mhm.
No, dude, the best part in that whole shit is when he's like, so what the fuck's gonna happen when you do this, man? And
He's
he
like,
just
"Is this
goes,
it?"
he's just like, what else ought there be?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, "This is
Like-
just it right here." He's like, "Yeah, I
Green
mean,
Knight's-
what else?"
Yeah.
You
I was
heard the
just like-
rules of the game, right?
Yeah.
Eye for an eye, motherfucker.
Yeah.
That's over. That's over.
I mean, and I love, whenever he shows up to that castle and like, them sitting there around the fire having conversations about shit and everything, and just like their exchange that they have there, knowing who that character is and what he represents and everything. It's just like, I don't know, it's just so well written. Like the
Yeah.
source material was so well written and it was adapted so well, in my opinion, that like I was just completely entranced the whole fucking time.
He was like, "How do you know my name?" He's like, "Everyone knows your name. We all sing you the songs." I mean,
Yeah, Gawain.
he's like, "What?
Yeah.
There's a transformer?" No.
Yeah.
Yes.
What? Now I watched a review, and I've already talked to Adam about this, but I watched a review on a quote unquote YouTube movie reviewer channel.
Mm-hmm. Are we talking like
and
millions of subs?
I'll see if I can find it while we're talking about it. But he said that like he did his review of The Green Knight, and he said that after he watched the film, none of it made sense whatsoever, and he had to go home and Google what everything meant.
Really?
Everything. What the trials meant, what the fucking summoning the Green Knight ship meant,
Mm-hmm.
like everything, right?
Uh-huh.
And the whole time, no, he doesn't have a lot, so don't worry about it.
I feel like
But,
a real fucking nerd now, because like
Yeah,
I remember
dude.
enough. I remember enough Arthurian legend from high school that like while I didn't get maybe some of like the more artistic representations of it, like I was able to kind of squirrel together what the fuck was going on, you know?
Well, like the thing
Yeah.
with the Giants, he was trying to hitch a ride on one. He's
Yeah.
trying to take a shortcut instead of making the
Yeah.
journey.
Yeah.
And that's when the fox was like, "Nope,"
Yeah.
because the fox was just
Nope.
leading his ass.
Yeah.
This motherfucker was in on it too, you know?
The
Yeah.
fox was like, "Have you seen Attack on Titan?
I
Do you
kept waiting
really
for
want to
him to
go
go.
there?"
These are my tickle time movies for the night times.
And that was another thing. He was like, he eats the mushrooms in the cave, and then he starts hallucinating and
Throws the
everything.
fox one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course,
And
I'd
then
give
as soon
the
as he
dog
threw
one.
up, I was like, "Oh yeah, those are magic."
Yeah. And then he was like, the guy that reviewed it's like, from this point forward, is it all a dream? Is he hallucinating the whole time? Like, what's go? They don't explain to us what the fuck has happened, and I'm just like,
Well, he
the
wasn't on
whole
mushrooms when the Green Knight showed the fuck up, so
exactly right, yeah.
mushrooms don't last that long either.
No, no. And he's like, is the Giants? Because the next scene it cuts to the Giants there. It's like, does it mean it's fucking hallucinating, man? And I'm like, I'm sitting there, I'm like, we didn't watch the same fucking movie. Or I've watched more movies than you, and you are clearly older than me. You know,
Or
like,
like, or I mean, that's one of those scenes you can write off as like, we're in a world with a wizard and a green knight. Is giants really a stretch?
no,
No.
not at all.
Like, I mean, it's the
Yeah,
land of
and
giant,
ghosts,
valley of the giant. I mean, like, you don't even
Yeah,
have to
there's a
be
talking
astute with.
fox.
You don't
yeah.
have to be astute with a fucking literary historian about what shit meant and what it didn't. Like,
And that's what he said. That's exactly what he said. You shouldn't have to be a historian of ancient literature to be able to understand a film.
but
Definitely
And
we're
I'm
not.
like,
not, and we
No.
kind of got it. I mean,
yeah, exactly. Like,
Well, like when they were at the castle, man, and he was like, I'm giving you all this stuff, whatever you get, you should give me back.
yeah,
And I'm like, okay, the book. She gave him a book.
yeah,
Give the book back.
yeah,
But then that sash
kiss.
shows up, and it's like, oh, that's what he
Yeah.
wants.
Well, and how crazy, like, legit, and I know this, but how crazy would it be if, like, Gawain just started jerking him off on that horse? He's
He
like,
was
you
like,
told
I
me to
can
give
take it
you
from you. And I was like, is he talking about his,
his manhood.
butthole? Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
it got
yeah,
weird, didn't it? I was like,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. But no, it's all good, you know.
Yeah. He gave him that
But
kiss,
no,
and he was like, we're going to go our separate ways.
well,
yeah,
I feel like those comments is a perfect starting point for the rating. Because I was gonna give this rating anyway. I'm gonna give it a half, and the reason why is because as much of a good film it is, as great as a movie as it is, it's definitely a movie that people are either gonna enjoy it or they're not gonna get it, and they're not gonna give a shit about trying to get it.
yeah,
And I think it's more of like a half star in terms of like a disclaimer. Um, if you don't like, it's not necessarily like,
Fuck what they think.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's fair and honest.
Yeah.
It's not a movie. It's not a movie
No,
you
it
would
ain't for
recommend to
everybody. But this
everybody.
company, they don't put out movies for everybody.
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, you should know what you're getting
Midsummer,
into when you.
The
Yeah,
Lighthouse.
absolutely. I totally agree with that. But I think a larger audience probably walked out of the movie scratching their head, maybe.
hmm
yeah.
So, uh, but with that, I mean, I'm gonna give it a half only as a precaution. It is a great movie, and I do recommend it.
Would you buy it?
Absolutely.
All right.
Movies that go down the rabbit hole like this one does in terms of like its cinematography and its visuals and stuff. I would buy it I would buy it in the same way I would buy a very nice painting. It's definitely a work of art,
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Right.
and that alone to me warrants it belonging in the pile.
Yeah.
Oh, it did look great, man. I mean, I had a good copy.
Yeah.
And
Real good.
yeah, and I mean, and for all the little stuff that we've talked about over it, at the end of the day, this movie does lock you in, and you'll keep
Because
watching
you
it.
want to know what's
Yeah,
going to happen here.
because it does a
Is
good
he worthy?
simple, well, a good simple story that gets, all the pieces get set in place. Like, it's very good basic storytelling, but the guy goes crazy with his visual type of shit.
Yeah.
And, you know, some people can't entertain both things at the same time. So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a full star.
Rocket with the full.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah. I'm gonna give it a full star as well. This is the thing, man. There's one there's one of two ways, the way that I see it, in order to approach something like this. You can either be really in your face, like explosive, over, over explaining everything, or you can be dialed back, reserved. It's like, think of it in this way. You could make a film like this or a King Arthur story, period, and turned it into a, Marvel spectacle. And I'm just going to use Marvel as as a reference for a huge budget. Like, we're going to introduce everybody and we're going to make everything known. Like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Mhm.
Or, or you can go down the alternate route to where it's like, all right, Excalibur's a thing. Like you said, Excalibur's a thing. Like, King Arthur has it, Merlin's there, wizards are happening, all this shit's going on. And everything is played down so low key that it makes you that much more involved in the film, especially a film like this. Because, like, if the characters are accepting all this stuff for what it is, then it allows you as the viewer to be able to accept it for what it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And to me, I'm glad that they went that route with it. And I never thought that, like, them going that route with it would make such an enjoyable experience, because, like, if I'm sitting here thinking, Knights of the Round, I want a fucking like a
Yeah.
still frame, splash page, who they are, what their stats are. You know what I mean? I never thought about viewing something like this in a different way, and that's exactly what this experience was. I watched it in a more artistic way, to where the story and what the character was in his head trying to accomplish, but failing all along the way, and how everything was played down low key, it contributed more to the climax of the film. And then whenever the climax of the film gets there, and then they throw you that curveball, it's like, well, this stuff really didn't happen. He was just having, like, his life
Yeah.
was flashing before
Like
his
if he
eyes,
walks
right?
away right now,
Yeah,
this is
this
his
is what would
life.
happen. Yeah, exactly. Um, I
His cowardice would haunt him,
He
and I
watches his
think you raise
firstborn die in battle. They're throwing shit
yeah,
at him. Like,
I think you raise a good point, Griffin, because I think it demonstrates that there seems to be two arguments that seem to float up to the surface when it comes to movies in general, regardless of whether it's Marvel, A24, whatever, any kind of movie. A lot of complaints seems to either be nestled around the argument of it's great writing, but it's visually boring, or
yeah,
it's visually amazing and the exposition isn't enough, or it sucks ass.
yeah,
And I think this movie does a good job of playing on, like, the movie does not try to assert itself as smarter than you.
exactly. Yeah,
no.
It knows that most of the people in the target audience, whether this is made as a foreign film or not, anyone who's anybody that grew up in our country's education system, you're well acquainted with Arthurian legend. And when you get out of high school and go into college, that shit gets ramped up to fucking 11.
yeah,
And I like the idea with the downplay of everything, because it's like, okay, you know all these tales, you're familiar with who's who. May not necessarily be something you think about on the daily, but you remember enough that, like, when you go in, like, you because we always see the stories that are like, oh, the sword and the stone, Arthur becomes king, or whatever stories that deal with Merlin and Morgan Le Fay, or Guinevere, all that shit. But this is a film that takes the Green Knight story, and it just the opening scene is probably the best part in the movie. And it's not to say that the later half isn't bad, but it captures everything in Arthurian legend, but it does it without really explaining shit. It's like,
yeah,
all right, fucking dudes up, we're at the round table, these motherfuckers, no introductions needed. Like, you're in the room, you're around the round table with them
yeah.
as the audience, and you're just kind of watching everything too, like, what the fuck? Why is this? why is this stable-hood fuck coming up here to hang with Arthur, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, right. And that's the thing, man. It's like what you just said. It's like I trust me, I enjoy over the top, visually pleasing, mind numbing, sit back and enjoy the ride films. I love it. I love it. But sometimes like seeing a different approach, and that's why I think that A24 has been so successful with a lot of the films that they've released, because the guys that they have, or the people that they have working on their films, are approaching cinema in a very different type of way. And they're telling very familiar stories in a very unique way, right? And it's something that Hollywood is like big Hollywood is afraid to do, because I mean, The Green Knight is not going to gross $1 billion. Like, we know that for a fact.
No.
It's too niche. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
no, that
too
ain't happening, dude.
no.
They
And
know it ain't
and
happening.
yeah, but they allow them the freedom. They allow their directors and writers the freedom to tell the stories that they want to tell, regardless of how over the top, weird, crazy those stories are. And it gives you a very interesting and different perspective on how films can be made, how stories can be told. And like this, for example, like I said before, if we were going to watch a King Arthur film, the first thing that would come to everyone's mind is like it's going to be this huge, big budget, over the top, you know, like just fun house of just crazy fucking action sequences.
But see, at the same time, that's the worst way to ever approach Arthurian legend
Yeah, but that's how
because it's
like
because
our
it
brains
because it.
are.
Oh, I mean, I agree. I mean, the Marvel Cinematic Universe is the proof in the pudding for that. I guess the point I'm wanting to try to get is where can we have where are the filmmakers that can take both of those arguments and come out with a product that is visually amazing. It is a epic in scale and scope, and it doesn't necessarily have to be like boom or punchy time or anything. It could just be like on a scale like Lord of the Rings, where it's a cinematic masterpiece, and that like you see large fucking shots of like the earth, and it's just
Yeah,
really gorgeous scenery. The set design is through the fucking roof. You can tell that either a lot of money was spent or a lot of love was put into it, and hopefully it's a marriage of the two.
yeah.
And kind of try to get away from the movies that are either all all source and no substance or whatever however that anecdote goes, or the other way around where you have movies that look great, like, and I guess that's where some of my problem with some of, like, say, mobster films. They look amazing, uh production down to where all the vehicles, like, it looks like it's right out of the era, but the story is so goddamn boring.
Right.
Yeah, we gotta go get Nikki. What
Yeah.
for? Yeah, because we fucking want to. Like,
Yeah.
uh, and I think, and I mean, and it's the same, I guess, across all genres. But I don't know. I hope more filmmakers, or what would be an original idea or a property that could be taken and have that kind of level of detail, put into it, from the writing to the visual aspects to all of it. And it just seems like Hollywood and even indie would, like, they can't, like, they just can't, they're not spending leaving it in the oven long enough to get to it.
Well, all right. I think that's already happening, but I don't think that it's happening on film. I think that that is happening on television right now.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
I feel like the people that wanna make those type of stories to show that kind of scope, but also have that kind of storytelling, has all migrated to HBO, Netflix, Stars, Hulu, whatever. Because and we'll see, like, we've got the Lord of the Rings stuff, like that Amazon series is coming up fairly soon. And I mean, in theory, they should be able to just capture everything that you just said.
And and I have no gripe with TV because it is an excellent medium to do that. I wholeheartedly agree with you. Um, I just wish that that somebody can come along and do that and apply it to the feature film
Yeah.
because I don't know, and maybe that just shows that that's a really hard thing to pull off. Maybe that is the answer. Maybe it's that it can be done. It's just you're gonna watch a lot of shit before you see the gold.
Yeah. Well, and you could almost say that like the uh the Snyder cut to a degree.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
yeah,
think
it's
I agree. You would have to sacrifice a little more time,
yeah,
but not in a sense that like you're having to power through 10 1 hour episodes. I mean, and considering the type of content, especially now during the pandemic and everything, where we'll have these little spots where there's nothing for sure, and then we're about to hit a stride from now until January where it's just going to be bam, 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 all this stuff,
yeah, yeah,
and it's hard to, it's hard to sit and watch the movies you're wanting to watch, watching the shows you want, but having the time to do that.
yeah,
And it becomes harder when, okay, you're episode 7 out of 10 of this season of a show, but you're also episode 4 of another. It becomes this crazy juggling act,
yeah,
and some way of refining it.
yeah. Well, someone's going to have to take the chance, take the opportunity to release something that's within 2 to 2.5 hours to have all of that stuff. And it's like right now, that's not going to make the monies. Like
Well, I
it would
mean,
make the monies, but I don't think that right now they're going to like be comfortable with putting that kind of money into
I
something
mean,
like that.
yeah.
speaking of money, this film had a $15 million budget.
And it was executed
Did pretty
fucking
damn good with
perfectly.
$15 million. I have
Yeah.
another little tidbit here, dude. Fucking Dev Patel.
Yeah.
This is the guy from Slumdog Millionaire.
Really?
Yeah, the main guy in Slumdog Millionaire.
Okay.
I mean, he's come a long way.
Yeah, he
So I
has.
think he was like maybe a Bollywood. He was in Chappie. He's come a long way, dude,
Yeah.
since Slumdog Millionaire. But I remember that movie blew up, which was his first real movie he ever did.
Yeah.
And I remember that movie being huge. Like,
Right.
Yeah. I'm still I'm still chewing on what we were talking about a second ago because like I guess one could argue uh the Suicide Squad, but here's the thing. I don't like comic films are that needs to be treated as just one thing.
Yeah.
Because
For sure.
when you cross the barrier into Marvel, DC, and all that, anything adapted from a fucking picture, um, of course that's its own. It's its own cinematic universe in and of itself. Because I know that because I don't want to delve. I don't want to try to get too far removed from the idea of like original content.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because even though the Green Knight's based on the story of the Green Knight, of course, it's still different enough in a sense that like there's still this. It's more like he used iconography to tell his story. That way, you could have a base in reality or some sort of landmark to kind of go with
Right.
instead of it just being instead of it being a story about like an over a spoilt fucking rich kid whose dad works at a dealership.
Yeah. Yeah. But then that delves into the whole topic of like, okay, the films that are constantly being made by Big Hollywood is, something that is a for sure moneymaker. And that delves into that topic. It's like, okay, when is Hollywood gonna see the potential in more like Nolan, for example. Nolan makes the films that Nolan wants to make, right?
no ifs,
Hmm.
And they're
and
gonna
buts about it, dude.
yeah, they're gonna be weird, they're gonna be crazy out there, but he's proved himself as someone that's been able to do that. That's like a 1 in a million shot though,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that's where it gets into that conversation. It's like, okay, Hollywood is gonna have to be the ones that take the chance, and we'll probably get like exactly what you're talking about, but it's probably gonna come from someone like A24. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
they're gonna have to be the ones that pioneer it. It's gonna have to be something that's nominated for a bunch of awards. It's gonna have to be something that like Parasite, you know?
Yeah.
Like Parasite would be the perfect example. It's like it's a foreign film that shouldn't be loved by everybody, and
Well,
not
dude,
because
it wasn't gonna be released here. It just
and
caught
that
so
that would have
much, attention that
yeah,
it got a
that they had
release.
no choice.
I
Yeah,
mean, it was,
yeah.
and that's rare.
So yeah. So like, your Nolans, your Tarantinos, they're in their groove. They have their built-in audience and their built-in fan base. It's going to take something like really, really big and really unique that the studios are going to be willing to back in order to like have
Well,
that type of storytelling.
well, as we've all shown throughout the episodes how much we enjoy Nolan films, Tarantino, the the mainstream
The Holy Trinity.
a- the
Yeah.
mainstream anti-mainstream
Yeah.
filmmakers, if you want to
The
call it
main
like that,
the mainstream indie.
the auteur, whatever the fuck you want to slap on them. But the problem though is that they have as directors now is with that dedicated fan base comes the people that will go watch their movie, sit down, not understand a fucking ounce of it, and come out being like, "Well, dude, it was badass that you know he went in that black hole," or like, man, that dude, them people were fighting backwards the whole time.
Yeah, that movie
Like
ain't
you
for
have,
them, dude.
but there's people who are like, I saw The Dark Knight, so I love all of fucking Christopher Nolan's movies,
Yeah.
and his movies are good, and they're all good, but we also know that that there are movies on those each director's filmography that we're like, I'm probably not going to go to that one unless I've watched all of these other ones.
Right.
Yeah, you ask them, you're like, "What's your favorite Nolan movie?" They're like, "All of them."
Yeah.
Okay.
Batman.
Yeah.
You're like, do you see Inception?
Well, they got a rude
Oh, you mean
awakening if they went in just because they like Batman. It was like,
Yeah, right. So
David Lowery, the director.
yeah.
He's gonna be making the live action Peter Pan and Wendy movie for Disney,
Hmm.
and I think with his filmmaking style, it'll have a really cool look.
Oh yeah, for
This is the
sure.
one that Jude Law is gonna play Captain Hook in.
No
Yeah,
shit.
that
That's
would be
kind of cool.
Jim
Uh,
Gaffigan's gonna play Smee. Smee. I mean, come on. Alan
have they
Tudyk's in
cast
it. They're not giving those names. I don't see a Pan, but I thought that
Faith
was
Heard?
cool.
Yeah, that
I
is
think it'll
cool.
have a good look, man. I mean, he did that fucking dragon movie. What is it?
Pete's Dragon.
Pete's Dragon. I think he
Yeah.
directed that, which I haven't
Yeah.
seen.
No, I haven't
Um,
seen that
Trailer
either.
looked cool, but
whenever when I finished watching this, I did a dive on the director, and a lot of people praise Pete's Dragon for just how different it is from the other live
yeah.
action Disney movies. Like that, I noticed
And
that
see, I
was a
think that's
recurring
this guy's
thing.
thing, man. He does different,
Yeah.
and
Which is good.
that's why I'm thinking with the
Yeah.
Peter Pan movie, hopefully we won't just get the
Yeah.
same rinse and repeat Peter Pan movie,
Yeah.
But it is a live
And
action, and I'll watch it.
Yeah,
it would be interesting to see the scope of that film in particular, because it's like we all watch the animated film, we all watch Hook, you know what I mean? Like, well, I read Peter Pan.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean,
I would love to see, like, because when they go there, it's like you see a little bit of it, but you don't really see like how much. Like Hook, I guess, would be the one that would stand out the most as far as differentiating itself from what reality and what this is. You know what I mean?
hmm
but but Hook was actually a great example of what we were talking about
Yeah.
earlier of a marriage of the two. You still had the cinematic like wow factor of okay, we're in a live action like Neverland, like all this shit's happening. You've got great performances from fucking Robin Williams and Hoffman.
Yeah.
Like they all did a great job. Like
Great
you know,
job.
you yeah, I mean it's a
I
classic,
could
and
sit down and watch Hook.
I feel like
Yeah.
we can say that without bias, really, because I mean we all grew up when the fucking Disney tapes were a fire sale. You know, like everybody
Yeah.
was watching that shit.
Like, oh shit,
Yeah.
it's coming out the vault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh no. We were there when the vault was constructed, dude.
Yeah.
We were like, "What's this about?" Like, oh, but yeah, I think Hook is a great example, and it's a great example of just enough was different to make it fresh.
Yeah.
But just like with the Green Knight, when you're watching Hook, you know, the minute you see Robin Hood, you see Williams come in, you're like, old man Payne, we're getting here.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Well, old man
and
pan
well,
action.
just there's something about films that are based on mythology where when you have that, it is cliche, but you have that classic dialogue of like, we meet again.
Yeah.
And and especially when it's in properties where when that scene happens, the weight of what you know goes into that.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh
All the
fuck, like
backstory and the
like you know everything, and so
yeah.
your hot factor's like, oh shit, we're getting this. You know, just I guess the gears of nostalgia, you know,
Yeah.
start cranking in your brain, and it makes shit, you know, because I know we're gonna have a moment later at trailer time where that happens.
Yeah. Hello, Peter.
But yeah, but
Is it
oh
pan?
man, but with
No.
but you know, but yeah, we need more films like Hook,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
where you
Speaking of
where you can tell money's been pumped in, but quality came out, man.
yeah. Well, and speaking of films that we wanted to happen that didn't, I'm going to go ahead and segue into movie news. And I'm not doing these in order, but I'm going to start with the alien thing.
I was
So,
about to put this in here a minute ago and I saw you already had it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Blomkamp wonders whether Ridley Scott's reaction to 2015's Chappie led to Alien 5 being canceled. So District 9 director Neil Blomkamp's Alien 5 movie that could have been will always be a missed opportunity in the eyes of fans of the iconic sci-fi franchise. Sadly, it looks like the project will never happen, and Blomkamp has now placed the blame squarely on one of his own creations, Chappie. He said it's possible that Ridley watched Chappie and he was like, "This guy can't do Alien, so let's just go ahead and move on."
What the
Um,
yeah, like what the fuck did I just watch?
yeah. While the filmmaker said this with a smile, there is some seriousness surrounding the idea that legendary director Ridley Scott saw the response to Chappie, Neil Blomkamp's 2015 sci-fi action flick, and ultimately decided that he was not the man to take the reins. Blomkamp's Alien 5 was greenlit by Fox at one stage, with the studio confirming the news and revealing that Blomkamp's movie would be a sequel to the original four Alien outings. While Scott had expressed interest in Blomkamp's idea for Alien 5, things came crashing down when the project was canceled in 2015, with the Chappie director believing that it could have due to the critical reaction to the sentient robot.
This guy was
Um.
also in Chappie, Dan Patel.
Oh.
It
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
says
Yeah.
it in that article too, but
Yeah.
here's if I'm working at Ridley Scott's camp,
Yeah.
and I mean, dude, he's saying this for a reason. Word got
Yeah.
back to him, you know.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I
For
mean,
sure.
if I'm working there and Scott's like, I just watched Chappie, this motherfucker can't make this movie. I'm like, you need to watch District 9 again.
Yeah. Exactly right.
You need to watch District 9 again.
Well, if we pull up Ridley Scott's, filmography, I mean, they're not all
Gotta
bangers.
be a turd in there somewhere.
Definitely, right? There's got to be at least one, if not multiples. He's been making films for a very long time. Um, and it's kind of unfair, man. And like, look, don't get me wrong. I enjoyed Prometheus. I enjoyed Alien,
Covenant.
whatever the yeah, Alien Covenant. I enjoyed those films a lot. I like the direction that Scott was going with them. Critics and a lot of the other fans didn't feel the same way about it. And it is what it is at the end of the day. And it doesn't feel like we're going to get, a finish to those films. Like he said he's working on it, all this kind of stuff, but like the thing that he was in fear of happened to him.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, you know, are you the pot or the kettle at that point? Like you didn't want to give him, like let Fox go ahead with his Alien 5 film, which from everything we've seen and read, it sounds and looked like it was going to be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And you made Prometheus and you made Alien Covenant, and you could have continued making your prequel films while he continued. Like it could have all coexisted with one another. And it
Yeah.
could have culminated into something more with the two of them working together and planning out this like ultimate alien end. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well,
Um,
with all that said, and I do agree, you still gotta tip the hat to Scott, because at the end of the day, like, he knows this is his prize egg. This was his, like, Alien was his lightning in a bottle.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Regardless of all of the other good movies he may or may not have made, like, later on. And, it's his universe, and, good on him for being able to keep a studio from being like, you know what, fuck you. We're gonna have them directed anyway.
Yeah.
Because we could be reading a completely different article if the studios had decided to be like, you know what, fuck you, Scott. We're gonna let Blomkamp do it anyway.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
feel
You're
like
right.
the conversation could very much be, us being like, man, like it's his child. I get it. I mean, the only person that's been able to top it, like, he didn't do Aliens, right? That was James Cameron. Am I
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right.
So I mean, other people absolutely have, done their thing with it. And it does suck that the big factor in all of this is the fact that Blomkamp had a script that Sigourney Weaver, it brought her back to it.
Yeah.
Because I don't think, outside of Ridley Scott, I don't think anyone else could convince her to play a role again.
Yeah. Yeah.
And,
Exactly.
and and I think that's the most telling thing from that, is that if she was willing to get back on board and do it, I mean, you know,
Yeah. Well, and that's always going to be that what if.
yeah.
Now from this point forward, regardless of what happens with the Alien franchise, if they make more or if it just ends or whatever, but it's always
He's
going to be
working on a
that what
prequel.
if,
Really,
which
Scott's
is
got
fine.
an untitled Alien prequel announced on
Theoretic,
IMDb.
theoretic, Theoretically, if he does one more film that links Covenant to Alien, he could dust his hands off and call it a day.
Yeah, and it'll just be what it is until, he either passes or somebody else comes up with a really good idea.
I kind of take back what I said too. I just look at his IMDb, bro. There ain't no turds there.
They're,
Well, some of the
they're
newer, like, Body of Lies. I don't even think I've seen that.
The 90s and
But
the
it did
early
too well.
2000s, I remember being dominated by Ridley Scott.
Well, he did Gladiator, and he's got Gladiator 2 announced.
oh
Are we
shit.
really?
Oh, leave it,
Huh?
leave it on the pedestal.
It says it's a
Scott.
sequel to Ridley Scott's Gladiator. No information other than that.
Is dude gonna drop all that weight and come back?
I mean, well, he would be older.
Yeah, well, yeah. But he died. So
I just
Another
remember a lot
Gladiator.
of my teen years seeing stuff. It's like it was like either Ridley Scott, Jerry Bruckheimer, or Spielberg.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it's
Yeah.
all, Spielberg's gonna pop up every decade regardless.
So the guy that's writing the script for Gladiator, he started out with he had the screenplay for The Town.
Okay.
And then he did, hold your breath now, Hunger Games, Mockingjay, Part 1 and 2. Yeah. And then he moved on to
Okay.
like Bad Boys for Life. He's doing the new Top Gun movie. That's his script. The Batman movie. Yeah.
Okay.
The one that's coming
All
out.
right.
Yeah, he wrote that.
The Robert Pat one?
Uh-huh.
Is this Lowery you're saying?
No, this is the guy that's writing the new Gladiator movie.
Oh, okay.
So like he's got an idea and whatever.
He's got a dream.
I didn't know that Ridley Scott did. Well, he produced Thelma and Louise. I didn't know that. I mean, back in the day, everybody had their little hands in something, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got my hands in something,
Okay.
and that is Eddie Murphy's pocket. All right.
Uh-huh.
Beverly Hills Cops 4. Beverly Hills Cop 4 is
Uh-huh.
moving forward at Netflix. Eddie Murphy will return.
I thought it
Says,
was already done. Like,
I know, right? Beverly Hills Cop 4 is one of nearly 24 movies revealed to start shooting soon in California, with Netflix moving forward on the action comedy sequel. Back in 1984, series star Eddie Murphy debuted as Axel, street smart Detroit cop who heads to Beverly Hills to investigate a crime. On Monday, California's Film and TV Tax Credit Program unveiled a list of 23 new movies, including 10 studio movies and 13 indie features to be developed in the state. This includes some notable big budget productions like Jean Marc Vallée's untitled John Lennon and Yoko Ono biopic for Universal and Zack Snyder's sci fi movie Rebel Moon for Netflix, the latter's next project following the success of Army of the Dead. Also set for a California production is Jerry Bruckheimer's Beverly Hills Cop 4, currently in development at Netflix. The project is the result of a one-time licensing deal between the streamer and Paramount to produce the reboot / sequel to the series. It is reportedly set to generate about $78 million in qualified spending in California over the course of 58 days of filming, part of which will be in San Bernardino. We look forward to welcoming this diverse blend of films and filmmakers to the tax credit program. California Film Commission Executive Director Colleen Bell said in a statement, altogether, the movies are expected to generate nearly $678 million in qualified spending in California. 9 of the 13 indies have budgets of $10 million or less in qualified spending. Some of the other projects on board include Imagine Entertainment's Escape, an untitled Kenya Barris project featuring Jonah Hill, and untitled projects by Aziz Ansari, uh, Karen Kasuma, and Kobe Libby. Bad Boys for Life Helmers. Bad Boys for Life Helmers, Adil El Arbi, Bilal Blah are on board to co-direct Beverly Hills Cop 4, and given the success they had in rebooting Bad Boys, the project seems to be in good hands with the two on board. Even so, they had signed on to do Beverly Hills Cop 4 before Bad Boys for Life. Last year, the filmmakers provided an update on where the sequel was in development, revealing that the screenplay was moving on swiftly and looking great. So that's probably why we talked about, or why you said it was, already done, because
yeah.
they were saying that they, were going to do that before. So,
So I was a huge fan of the franchise.
right. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
But I also like coming to America. I kind of already know how it's going to play out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Younger cop.
I watched daughter, maybe girl.
Yeah.
I watched Coming to America too.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of like, okay, this is how we do these now.
Yeah.
But if they can bring one motherfucker back, Axel fully, Selge. That fucking commercial with the gun that had like a microwave on it and a radio and just
yeah.
if they can get that dude to
Come
come
on.
back, that'll be great.
Shit,
Axel fully.
Axel. So we've got that to look forward to, and I think that Eddie Murphy's he did a couple of things for Netflix already, so it makes sense. Yeah, so it makes sense that that's happening, and he might be doing the same thing Sandler's doing, and like trying to work in an exclusivity deal, which makes sense. I mean, he can make family films and adult films on there if he wants to, like.
He can also release a special there because he is going to do comedy again.
And that's like the perfect place to put it.
Where else you gonna put it?
Yeah.
If it ain't on Netflix, fuck you. Like.
Yeah. Better be on YouTube.
But I will say this though, I kind of shit on Coming to America there a little bit, but that Dolomite movie was a banger.
I still haven't
It was
watched
good,
it yet. I'm
dude.
podlocked on it.
The way they did it, like instead of like just making the Dolomite movie, they were like, it was them making the movie.
Right.
So you're on set of this like no budget, over the
top.
Yeah, they're
Black
just
exploitation
yeah,
film. Yeah.
and it was great.
Yeah. Next up, Dungeons and Dragons co-director John Francis Daly says the live-action movie has finally wrapped filming ahead of its planned 2023 release. That's a wrap on Dungeons and Dragons, set for a theatrical release in 2023 by Paramount Pictures. The upcoming reboot is an all-new live-action take on the iconic fantasy adventure franchise. Michael Gilio crafted the story, and co-directors Jonathan Goldstein and John Francis Daly penned the screenplay. Stephen Davis, Brian Goldner, and Jeremy Latcham are producing. Taking to Twitter, Daly announced on Friday that the anticipated project has finally wrapped filming by writing Rap D&D Today Still Alive. This is significant as there have been many false starts over the past 2 decades to launch another D&D movie, but for whatever reason, it was never able to get off the ground. Nothing shows that a project has finally gotten out of development hell like the announcement of the filming has been complete. Dungeons & Dragons stars an ensemble cast that includes Chris Pine, Michelle Rodriguez, Justice Smith, Reggie John Page, Hugh Grant, Sophia Lillis, Chloe Coleman, Jason Wong, and Daisy Head. There's not much that is known about the plot at this time, but one thing that's been revealed is that Page plays a paladin in the movie. And let's see, the Bridgerton star said as much in a June interview with Variety. I'm not gonna go into that, but they finished filming the D&D film, which is like,
Yeah. Before I got
they
mixed up, when we were talking about Magic the Gathering, I was confused with the Dungeons and Dragons movie. Because I was like, I thought this was live action. I was like, I saw fucking set photos.
Yeah.
But it's this one.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
But it all kind of coexists together.
Yeah.
In a
I mean, dude,
way,
it's got to be better than the one that came out in 2000, right?
Jeremy Irons was in that one, dude. I don't know.
It also had one of the Wayans brothers in it.
Yeah, I know, right?
I think it's going to be boring.
I hope that they do, and we've talked about this, but I hope that they do it like the Jumanji film.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, kind of like people are playing it and they get sucked into it.
Yeah,
that'd be
or
cool,
they're
little
just
twist on it.
Yeah, or like they're playing it and
just living it out on screen.
Yeah,
like,
cuts to their character.
Every now and then it cuts back to them, and they're like, "All right, guys, we'll meet here tomorrow or next week."
Yeah,
And they come back and what happened to so and so? He got COVID. Oh,
yeah, he couldn't make
he's
it.
zooming in.
Yeah. So that's good. I'm glad. Yeah. I'm fucking rolling, bro. You better get the fuck out of my way. Okay? I'm fucking rolling. So that's good news. I'm glad that the D&D film's finished, and I'm interested to see how it plays. Even if it's a dud, at least they're taking a chance on it again.
That release date was 2023, so there's probably a lot of CGI work to do too. Like,
yeah, for sure. Like a lot of post production, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, next up, Oscar Isaac compares his Moon Knight and X-Men Apocalypse roles. Oscar Isaac's return to Marvel's world of superheroes as the lead in Moon Knight possibly came as a surprise to some, considering his last appearance was in X-Men Apocalypse, which was only saved from being the death of the X-Men franchise under Fox by the arrival of Dark Phoenix in 2019. However, Isaac recently revealed that it was not necessarily the pull of the superhero world that drew him to Disney's Moon Knight series, but more the cast and crew that he would be working with on the story. The Moon Knight series will be arriving on Disney Plus next year and has recently started filming. And as many fans already know, Isaac was happy to point out that his character is not a regular superhero and the show is going to be something different. This is what he said. It's not so much about the genre of things, it's the people. And is there room to do something interesting in it? And sometimes there is, and you think there will be. And sometimes it turns out there isn't. Isaac said in a new interview with Total Film. So
That's not shade on Star Wars at all.
I know, right? So I love the people involved. I thought there was an incredibly unusual story to tell within the world of, the superhero language, but we're making something that's quite different and that doesn't follow the same, not necessarily even logic of what a lot of superhero films do. I think because of that, I just found an opportunity to do something that I've not done yet at all, and to have a lot of creative collaboration with the rest of the people making it. Um, Isaac was also happy to share his excitement for the role and how well filming is going, which seems to be a long cry away from the work he did on Apocalypse, which has been well documented as a draining experience, both mentally and physically, for all involved. And Isaac previously spoke about that experience. Um, I'm not going to go into his quote about the current filming that's happening.
He's having fun.
He's having fun, and I really like this dude. We've seen this guy, like Ex Machina was one of the first films that we
Yeah.
did for the podcast,
He was
right?
a rich guy, yeah.
And like we've
Right.
seen him go from Ex Machina, Star Wars,
X-Men,
like
like
he's
gonna be in the
bounced
Doom
around.
movie.
Yeah. He's a very versatile actor, and I really like his charisma, right? Because
Mhm.
even if he's playing, like whenever he was playing the rich guy
He did a
in
good
Ex
job in Ex
Machina,
Machina, dude. Yeah,
yeah, and like
I
his
believed him.
charisma yeah, like everything, he sold me in it, and
Yeah.
everything that I see him in, he sells me in it, and it's awesome to see that he's getting the opportunity to be Moon Knight, and with him on board, specifically him on board, it gives me more hope. Like, which I mean, I'm not like dreading it or hoping that they fuck it up by any stretch of the imagination, but like Moon Knight, they're getting into more niche characters with some of the stuff that they're doing, which is a good thing because they're great, smaller, like C, D tier
Yeah, I was
characters
gonna
in the
say,
Marvel
like,
universe.
let me ask you, because I don't know anything about Moon Knight, but is this like Marvel's fucking Batman? Because that's what he looks like.
Kinda.
He
But it's
looks
a little
really
bit,
cool.
yeah, he does. Yeah. I read some Moon Knight back in the day. Kinda, it's a little bit, the
I'm
story's
not
way
going with the
different.
whole
Like
Bruce Wayne thing, but is he just some kind
yeah.
of?
Yeah,
Is he a
like
regular man?
he does have some powers,
Okay.
but like
He's
it's
still
it's
Apocalypse.
yeah.
he's, he's swapping one Egyptian god for another.
Okay.
Yeah, more or less. But yeah. I'm sure they'll do a fucking fantastic job of doing his origin story and everything. And
Nice.
that's what makes me super excited because there's been several different versions of his origin, and I'm interested to see how they tackle it on screen. And with him backing it, and then him being able to collaborate on everything,
Trying to
because
remember, isn't one of his abilities like he's able to teleport people through him? Like he can kind of turn himself into a portal.
I think so, yeah. It's some really like he's got some really weird, but he does a lot of hand to hand combat. He does have a lot of like Batman esque features, but he also
He's a
does.
punchy hero for sure.
Yeah, yeah. But he also has a lot of he does have some really interesting abilities that like he has to teach him or he has to learn how to fight and everything because the abilities that he has doesn't lead into being able to just blast people like
Yeah.
bang bang you know what I mean? So
He's crazy.
yeah.
Uh,
Last but certainly not least here that I saw, Marvel's Fantastic Four will likely cast established actors and new faces. Casting Fantastic Four for the Marvel Cinematic Universe will use the same tried and tested formula now established by a long running franchise. Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige recently offered some insight into the studio's approach to putting a name and face with the likes of Mr. Fantastic and the Invisible Woman for their highly anticipated MCU debut. revealing that much like the rest of the universe, they are looking for a blend of recognizable names and newcomers. I think the MCU is a beautiful combination of both established actors and new faces. I, I think you look no further than Simu, and Shang-Chi, like Chris Hemsworth, like Tom Hiddleston, like Tom Holland, an actor that hadn't been seen by a tremendous amount of people before. Or you have a Benedict stepping into Doctor Strange or Christian Bale stepping into Gore in our Thor film. It is always a beautiful combination of both, and it really is about the search for the best actor for the job, whether that actor is known to the world yet or not. While he sadly does not drop any names, Kevin Feige cites the previous success of the likes of Hiddleston, Hemsworth, and Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings star Simu Liu as examples of Marvel plucking lesser-known names out of relative obscurity and launching them into the A-list, referring as well as already well-established people like Cumberbatch and all them. Feige seemingly suggests that Fantastic Four could combine both familiar and unfamiliar names in the lineup of the beloved superhero family. While Kevin Feige maintains his penchant for secrecy with regards to the casting, this suggestion of a beautiful combination of both established and new faces will surely get ideas churning in many a Fantastic Four fans' mind. It would certainly make sense to cast a more learned actor as leader Reed Richards and then surround them with less experienced stars in the making. One such actor who is often rumored for the role is The Office and A Quiet Place star John Krasinski,
Mm.
who has responded favorably to the idea in the past. You're like, do you have any interest in not shattering people's dreams? I would love to be in the Marvel Universe, Krasinski said last year. I love those movies because they're fun, but I also think they're really well done. And certainly a lot of my friends are in those movies. I have no idea what Marvel are thinking, but if they are considering me for Mr. Fantastic, continue to consider me because I would love it.
He
Well,
wants that Marvel money, dude.
Well, it
That's
pulled
what.
well online too. I mean, the internet
Yeah,
picked it.
yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
So
Well, and his wife already came out and said like, "Look, A Quiet Place was what it was. I enjoyed doing that film, doing something with my husband and all this kind of stuff, but I'm not into the whole superhero shit." Like she came out and said that, right?
that's fine.
So it would make sense if they cast him as someone that is very very well known. Like A Quiet Place was a massive hit kind of out of nowhere,
Yeah.
you know? And then of course you've got the office cred with that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could cast, no names in every other single role as long as, the chemistry and like he said, they're going to cast the right people. So I have no doubts that,
I
that
feel like the A-listers are gonna be Richards, of course. Richards and Doom are gonna be the two,
yeah.
A-listers, and I think we'll get a secret third one slipped in as Grim the Thing.
Well, all
Because
right.
you can pay a lot of money to a motherfucker to just be his FaceTime for like the first 30 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
And then when he turns into the Thing, I mean, just mocap like Ruffalo, dude.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about this. I think it was actually last night after we watched
Yep.
the Spider-Man trailer. But like, let me throw this casting at you, Trav, and let me see what you think. As the Thing, Hank from Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
like he can pull the comedy, he can pull the serious.
He
Well,
can
I
fill
mean,
the
he's
suit.
like, well,
Yeah,
because dude feels like he can go a little further than what Michael Chitlis tried to do.
yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Because they're both in the same quadrant on the looks and act,
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he would be a good pick.
Well, and think about it, man. Like he blew up on Twitter recently because of those photos. Like he got memed like crazy because he had that photo, that black and white photo of him smiling, and that black and white photo of him like scowling.
You're talking about
Like,
Dean Norris.
yes,
Okay.
yeah.
So people were already
Um,
making photos of him?
no, like he did a photo shoot, and somebody took those photos and started memeing him,
Mm-hmm.
and like
I
He
saw
is
the black
well
and white
known.
picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's well known enough from Breaking Bad
Oh
and
yeah,
things
dude.
like that, but he's also relatively unknown enough to where they could offer him a very moderate salary
Mm-hmm.
and give him opportunity to grow in that role.
Yeah.
And he would be like insane to not go for it.
Mm-hmm.
And they could cast someone very young to play uh Human Torch. That would be fine with me. Um, and then they could cast some no name if they wanted to as, Reed Richards' wife
Mm-hmm.
and just roll with it that way. Like, I don't know, whatever they do is gonna be great, but like at the same time, like I honestly would personally love to see fucking Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic.
Oh yeah, dude. And the
That's
internet's already,
yeah, they're like,
spoken on it,
please.
and it's like they'd kind of be dumb not to just put him in there.
Yeah,
'Cause it's like
right.
that's a sure thing. Just put him in there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But that's all the movie news that I have peeped this week. There's the majority of the movie news right now is Spider-Man related.
Of course.
So,
Which we
we'll
got a
get into
trailer to
that.
watch.
Yeah. So, do y'all want to watch these trailers in reverse?
Sure. Well, we can go ahead and do the.
Bliss.
Yeah, I ran across this trailer the other day, and I don't remember watching it with y'all.
Right. Okay.
So I put it in there because it kind of looked interesting. But before we move on to the trailers, I would like to mention that Charlie Watts passed away,
Yeah.
the Rolling Stones drummer,
I saw
at
that,
80
man.
today.
Yeah.
You know,
And
he's a big part of music history. It's
yeah.
surprised he
And
made
the
it to 80. You know?
yeah, I know, like Jesus Christ. And the dude from Kill Bill, Hattori Hanzo. I can't remember what his real name is. Sonny. What was his last name? Fuck. Let's see. All right, what was this dude's name? It was Sonny Chiba.
Oh, he passed away?
Yeah, yeah. And it's kind of a bummer. He dies at 82 of COVID complications. Yeah.
I was trying to look to see if that's what got Charlie Watts, but it just says he died in a hospital in London.
It's a bummer, man.
It is.
But I mean, both of them contributed so much to pop
Oh
culture.
yeah,
So got to get the hat off for them and have a moment of silence,
big bucket of wind.
Yeah, for sure. So, but I'm ready for trailers, man.
All right, I'm gonna open. I'll do Bliss, and then we'll go back.
Do them in reverse.
Yeah. And I think this is a Prime movie, so
Prime motherfucking time.
put my earpiece in.
Look at them shine. Here
I'm Mr. Susan.
to do the chosen. Welcome to the merry world.
All right, everybody ready?
Bliss,
Yeah.
ready.
All right, 3, 2, 1, play.
Wow.
You in the Matrix, bro.
No, don't put that in your nose.
Now you on drugs. Mm.
But which world is the real world? Bill Nye, the science guy.
Bill Nye, the actor guy.
Yeah, I was about to say. Not a real scientist.
The sequel to Her looks crazy, y'all.
I know, right?
You know what's real, guys? Love.
I mean,
I
I
mean,
would peep it.
it looks good. I feel like I've seen that trailer with my wife. It seems very familiar, but yeah, I'd give it a go.
Yeah. Wow. It's a simulation. Wow.
Wow, my nose isn't broke in this world.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That dent's gone. Wow.
Whenever he
I mean,
wakes up, he's trying to pull the tube out, and they're like, "No, your nose needs
Yeah.
it."
Yeah.
I don't know where.
Okay,
I mean,
wow,
first moment I'm in Shanghai with Jackie Chan, and now I'm here with you, Salma Hayek. I mean,
wow.
wow.
but but wow.
I'm pretty sure I was chasing Tom Hiddleston for a while there, and I mean,
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you
wow.
a
A lot of
variant?
Lokis. Yeah.
Wow, a Delta variant?
I mean, let's just cut to the chase and give me Lambda.
Shang-Chi?
Yeah, the abomination fight.
I saw a
It's
clip that was
fucking
like Shang-Chi stronger than the Hulk.
yeah, I saw that
I was
earlier
like,
too, and I'm
what?
like, let's peep it. Let's see.
All right. 3, 2,
Wow.
1, play.
Stronger than the Hulk. Wow.
Her show on Comedy Central is pretty funny. Aquafina.
I'd hang out with her.
Damn.
Yeah.
Why are you so tough? I had the living shit beat out of me as a kid. Every day.
Wow. Wow, dragon. Ten rings ain't nothing to fuck with.
Wakanda this, motherfuckers. Other folks call me Goku.
They're bringing her in for the comedic relief. September the
dude.
3rd.
Dude, the movie looks fun as fuck, dude.
Oh, yeah.
It does, right?
Like,
And I literally have no fucking clue what's going on, but I
no.
want it. I want my body inside of it.
Suddenly the Infinity Gauntlet doesn't matter.
Yeah. Wow.
This movie is about like this movie should be called Shang-Chi and the Legendary Loot.
Yeah.
Because them 10 rings are, yeah.
That's legendary loot for sure.
Wow.
Like they're purple.
Box.
They're
Use
purple when
Dragon
you pick it
style.
up. Wow. 1H1K, bruh.
We got another little teaser for what we do in the shadows here. Wow.
All right, y'all ready?
Oh yeah.
3, 2, 1, play. He would have a diary. He's so happy. It's gonna be a good season.
It comes out soon, man.
Yeah.
Just in time for Halloween.
Yeah. This is Halloween.
They were losing it on Twitter yesterday. They were like, Halloween's 69 days away. Like, okay.
Great. Yeah.
People were like, fuck Halloween, and all the comments were like, we know, right?
Yeah. What is this?
Bad candy. I don't know, man. I fucking saw it and I was like, "Dang, I gotta fucking check it out."
What
I'll be
happens when
confused
you
with
buy
hard candy.
what happens when you buy the cheap shit?
This guy said, seems like a fun movie to watch with a bowl full of candy.
Yeah, if the candy's those shitty caramels with the cream in the middle that no one ever eats. I'm
Shit,
ready when y'all are.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Well, there's a lot of Corey Taylor comments. Let's see this. 3, 2, 1, play. Why are they talking about Corey Taylor? Oh, he's in it. One comment was like, he knows a thing or two about Mask. Ghosties with the mosties. You're fucked. Turtlenecks.
Turtlenecks.
Silver Shamrock.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we gotta fucking watch that, right?
Do we?
It's got fucking Corey Taylor and his neck in it. They got paid separate.
Yeah, the neck got paid more.
I mean, come on. 8 more days till Halloween, Halloween, Halloween.
It's Halloween.
Foundation. This is a little bit of a longer extended trailer, but you know.
Hopefully it's not just a loop.
Yeah, I know, right? But I'm ready for it
All
though.
right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, play.
That's today.
Oh, it is. No, it's next month. It said 9.
Oh, damn it.
Put some money in it. That looks cool. Space junk. Here, I thought it was going to be about makeup. What? Oh, yeah. This movie.
Yeah.
Okay. This is like 2 completely different trailers.
I know, right?
Bond villain. That looks so cool. The fucking black hole. Is this a show?
I think
That's
so.
right. Yeah, I almost forgot about this.
Yeah.
I'll check that out.
Looks fucking good, right?
And you know they got a counter. They're like, we can say Empire 5 times before we're sued by Lucasfilms.
Yeah. They got a little fucking slider over there.
Yeah.
Ding.
For an Apple TV thing, it looks really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Down
might
to
have to.
watch.
Yeah, I might have to peep that for shizzle. You know, broadcast signal and Trojan.
Change it.
Yeah, right. I'm
Sounds
so
like
hot for this.
It's like a song from a grind band.
Yeah, right. No, that's the album, and it's only one song long.
30
I'm re-
seconds.
All right.
I'm
3,
ready.
2, 1, play. Oh, there's actually a video where that really happened.
Really?
Yeah. It's not that exact video, but someone hijacked a station and played this weird video where somebody was wearing a mask, and it's one of those internet mystery things. It was the Max Headroom shit
Oh yeah.
where he came on the screen, and then it was cut to a woman wearing a mask, kind of like that one.
Yeah.
So that's what they're playing on.
It doesn't look bad.
And they never figured out like who
Who
did
did it?
that or
Why?
yeah. He's like, just to see if I could.
I'm just fucking with people, you
Yeah.
know.
I got these fucking antennas. I started fucking with signals.
Okay. Not books
The tickle times.
for the nighttime tickle
The
times.
tickle times. I left my comment.
Not books. That's what the 14th century called porn, fellas.
Yeah, right.
Could you
Let's do
pull
it.
out the night books? The drawings.
All right, 3, 2, 1, play. Hmm. Time to move. Oh. The fuck? I'll do your homework for you.
Stephen King's origin story looks nuts, y'all.
All right.
Hey,
It's asbestos.
Guess we know who's going to get cast in the Christmas Story reboot announced later this year.
the Stuart Little reboot.
Yeah.
This thing. Okay, I'm over here like that girl looks familiar. Kristen Ritter,
Hmm.
the junkie from Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
She's gonna torment them for most of the film. In like the last 20 minutes, they're gonna Home Alone the shit out of that library.
And it's got a fucking evil unicorn.
I mean, looks like a Halloween family film.
Yeah, right. Doesn't look bad. I'd peep it. I'd rather watch Ernest, but you know.
Ernest is like, Ernest does not books.
Yeah.
What do you mean need stories?
Yeah. I can tell you a story right now.
You got to write it down. Not too good at spelling, but
Yeah, I'll try. What do you mean I gotta write a story? So this is a new Batman trailer. I mean, we can save this, or we can go ahead and watch it, whatever you want to
we
do.
can watch it. It says superhero movie concept.
Oh, well, fuck
So I
that.
don't
I'm not
even know if
watching it
it's
at
a. I
all.
mean, it might be worth watching.
I mean, it's okay.
I already got it pulled up, and I
Let's
left a
do it.
comment.
Okay. Well, then let's do it then.
All right, 3, 2, 1, play. Actual footage. Ooh, that movie's gonna be good.
Yeah.
The revolutionary actor Robert Pattinson.
You mean it's the same studio that made other Batman movies?
How many they got?
It's all footage.
Yeah. And some of this stuff I haven't seen.
It's just
No.
a re-edit.
Ooh, it looks dark. Like you have to watch it with the lights off. You won't be able to see it, you know?
Yeah.
Mm. Fucking,
I want one of him in a fat suit, and he goes, "I'm hungry."
yeah. Damn, we gotta wait till
This
March.
I know, right? But I'm very excited. Bestsellers has one of my favorite actresses in it. So I went ahead and dropped it in there.
I knew it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll know it.
I knew
And I stare.
it. All right, 3, 2, 1, play.
Mm.
I knew it.
Aubrey Plaza, dude.
We're not bears. He looks like he's gonna tell somebody to bugger off.
Yeah.
You know? They love it. He's going viral. It was a dude from Princess Bride. By the end of that movie, you're gonna love that guy.
Yeah.
He's gonna love you.
Here's the thing with this movie. Really hate that they pretty much told us the movie in the trailer.
Yeah.
Like I would have enjoyed watching this actually. That's
Yeah.
a cool
Right.
idea. Like the writer don't give a fuck no more. You got somebody trying to, crown us king, crown us.
Yeah.
Like, and then Michael Caine comes in and fucking knights them all.
Michael Caine.
And I stare.
And I stare.
Like the only thing that they don't show is the mid movie crisis where he fucking
Has a heart attack
goes
or
old,
something.
where he goes old man crazy or something, which is probably why the books are burning. Because he's like, fuck you, publisher. I'm Michael Caine. Good night.
Yeah. Fucking
Yeah.
bugger off.
Yeah. The size of a tangerine.
Yeah.
A ruby. The size of a tangerine.
You couldn't hit the broadsides of a broadside.
All right. The Starling. It's got Chris O'Dowd in it.
Hell yeah. Whiskey.
So let's fucking double acid.
That he's quirky and wants to get the girl.
let's see it.
3, 2, 1, play. Oh yeah.
Oh, it's the sequel to that movie.
Oh, St. Vincent.
Uh, the baby died.
Mm.
These miscarriage movies are always fucked up. Holy shit, is that who I think it
It
is? Is the
is.
doctor?
It is Kevin Kline.
Last time I saw that motherfucker, he was getting chased through the cornfield with a saw blade, man.
Mm. Some people call it a Kaiser blade.
Now, a fucked up Kevin Kline movie is a film called The Ice Storm.
They're gonna fall in love.
So
I was wondering what happened to Chris O'Dowd. He ain't been in nothing. He's still counting that fucking it crowd money.
Well, it's kind of surprising to see those two in that film. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I would never expect Chris O'Dowd and Melissa McCarthy to be in anything together, much less like a drama about like
Mm-hmm.
the loss of a child. Like
Yeah, they
what?
didn't bury that lead at all.
No. But I might peep it. All right, are we going? Which one are we going to do first?
I mean, we gotta watch
Eternals.
Spider-Man last, dude.
All right, let's
You
do
can't
it.
nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Have you seen this Eternals trailer, Trev?
I've seen them both.
Oh shit! All right, let's do it. I'm Eternals. I'm queued up.
And I'm leaving my comment.
Have y'all seen these?
Yes.
All right, here we go. Eternals. 3, 2, 1, play. Atsabenya.
Thousands of years ago. Selma, don't call it a comeback. Kayak.
Right. Some call it a Hayek. She's like, but I
Oh
call
man,
it a comeback.
you're going kayaking this next year.
You will lick the shit off my booty.
Okay, keyword here, emergence. I have a theory on that.
The Great Flood. Was that an Infinity Stone?
Possibly.
Kind of looked like one.
Yeah.
That would
White
make sense
Walkers are
that they're
coming.
here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If they brought them. Whoa. Guy from the Green Knight. And this is a series, right?
No, this is a
It's
film.
just a movie? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So, all right, here's the quip.
Mhm.
Emergence. I really think that back during Infinity War and Endgame, I think it was called there. The snap released enough energy for the emergence, which is going to be the mutants. And they're probably going to write the Eternals to be like the OG mutants.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. I mean, and the Eternals are kind of tied to the
Yeah.
inherently, so like it makes sense for that to happen. Whenever I watched it and then did a little diving, because like that's the thing with the Eternals, like they show up. Some of them show up every now and then. They do shit and then they fuck off. And like, there's only a few select stories that are like Eternals focused.
Yeah.
And this is what I was telling Adam the other night. I was like, I think that they're actually gonna take the Eternals in the MCU and make them something more like they're going to turn them into more. They're going to feature them more, whether they're involved or not, like regardless of what's going on. I think they're more or less going to be kind of like the almost like a precursor, like catalyst type deal to how they treated Captain Marvel, right? Because she's all powerful. The
Yeah.
Eternals, they're all powerful. So, why did like that's the thing. Why didn't they get involved when, Thanos and all that shit was happening?
Well, I think somewhere in one of the articles, and I think on some of the summary, the film is supposed to take place over the course of a very long amount of time, like a lot
Yeah.
of world building in this movie.
Yeah.
So it'll be, it's going to be interesting. That's for sure.
Yeah. I'm excited to see it, man. And I hope that they do that because it would be nice if like they haven't got to the point in the MCU yet to have like the Illuminati and things like that. But it would be nice if the Eternals were kind of like a placeholder for that until we can build up to that point. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Well, I mean, with the trailer having shown everyone a little bit of their power, I mean, they're basically the X-Men right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, more or less. And it's like a soft, almost like a soft reboot.
Well, one of the theories that I had, uh, especially after I watched the next one we're about to watch, um, let's just get to this one and then I'll spill out my shitty idea.
Oh, that's what you got.
I want to say before we watch the trailer that this trailer dropped last night
Yeah.
on the Sony official YouTube page.
Yeah.
38 million hits.
Dude, it's gonna make so much goddamn money. Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Here we
It's
go.
gonna cause another outbreak.
It's yeah.
Let's go.
It's gonna cause a power outage.
Yeah, right.
All right, here we
I'm
go.
ready.
3, 2, 1, play. Full screen in it. Negatory.
Got a world to save.
There's no way you go back to school after that.
No.
We live in a world where Spider-Man can just walk into Doctor Strange's sanctum now.
I know, dude. It's great.
Mm-mm. Just fucking tell them again, you know?
Yeah.
It's unstable.
We just gave the audience an answer as to where the fuck I've been for the past year. Oh, son.
Mm.
I fucking cannot wait. I'm so fucking excited for this goddamn movie to come out, man.
So
Mm.
I feel like Marvel is playing something like a very smart game right now. Harkening to what we were saying about the Eternals and the X-Men stuff earlier, the actual X-Men comic book underwent a full reboot, and like the origins are a little bit different now. Like a lot of stuff was in lieu of the recent Secret Wars that went down. With that being said, I think they're going to bypass all of the classic origins for the characters in the X-Men universe. They're hammering us with this multiverse shit, so that by the time the mutants do show up, they can kind of start from the newest iteration, and it's a way to make the audience, at least the very ardent X-Men fans, be like, why didn't they do that?
Yeah.
Because I feel like the introduction of the X-Men is gonna not be what we think it might be, regardless of whatever theorizing that we can do.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
goddamn, that fucking trailer though, dude.
I know. I mean, that fucking Spider-Man trailer is like everything that I've been wanting. Like they cast the perfect fucking character to play Peter Parker, and it's been building and building and building, and like that shit that happened with fucking Sony and Disney a while back, where it's like, well, the Spider-Man license is run out,
Mm-hmm.
so what are we gonna do now? It's like I'm so fucking glad that they decided to be like, all right, we're gonna fucking do the thing. Like, we're gonna make it happen. Tom Holland called him crying
Yeah.
drunk, like,
Like,
please.
please.
Well,
Um,
one thing I thought was cool in hindsight now is Spider-Man's introduction in the MCU was in Civil War.
right.
And if you're as far as like adapting from something to film or whatever, if you were to lay out a complaint for that film, it would be how Spider-Man was handled. Because one of the biggest aspects of Civil War is that Spider-Man's identity gets revealed. That's one of the big blows in the show, in the run.
Right.
And knowing that they were saving that for this,
Yeah.
such a better idea.
Yeah.
And
Oh
it
yeah.
just it just looks like this looks like total Marvel sandbox fucking galore.
Yeah.
It tickles the member berries, it shows you some new ideas and fucking yeah, so
I remember.
I'm ready for it, man. I cannot wait. And like I've just been kind of sitting on it. You know what I mean? Like the Eternals trailer and the Spider-Man trailer. I've just kind of been sitting on it and just kind of been, um processing all of it because it's a lot, you know?
oh yeah.
Um so I haven't really came up with anything like crazy whatever, but like whatever they're doing, whatever they're going for, and what the end game for this whole situation is going to be fucking incredible. And then it's like, if this is it for Spider-Man in the Disney world, then what a fucking thing to go out on, you know?
But there is talks again of a purchase.
I mean, it would be
There's
smart.
talks.
The amount of
Yeah,
money Disney's is gonna make off of this,
Yeah.
they're just gonna be like, we're just gonna buy them.
yeah,
Sony's gonna like keep trying to cap them on a price, and Disney's gonna be like, we've got blood to spill.
The
yeah.
last price I saw, I think, was 7 billion.
I
Dude,
mean,
they'll make
More than
7 billion in
they
a
paid
couple of
for. Yeah,
years.
they'll make
Like
their money. That's
they'll
not
get
a
their
thing.
return back
So it
easily.
makes sense for them to do it. But that's more than they paid for Star Wars
yeah.
for one character. But they need it.
Well, not only one character, but all the
Yeah.
villains, everything that's locked. I
When
mean,
you're when you're on a level of capitalism that Disney's on, like,
yeah.
god damn, dude.
I'm like I've watched that trailer 5 times since it came out last night, you know? and every single fucking time, like, and they gave us a lot of little titty bits. You know, you got, of course, Doc Ock showing up. Then you've got the pumpkin bomb.
You even hear the dude's laugh.
Yeah, yeah. Sandman, Electro, Lizard. I mean, and there's talks that Keaton may be coming back as the Vulture, reprising his role. So, I mean,
So yeah, this was
I'm
5 days ago, man. Disney's right now. It is confirmed that they are in talks with Sony for a buyout or even a purchase of the entire company.
I mean, fuck. But
You know
they
what I'm
can't
saying?
purchase anything like that though.
They could do it like kind of like when they got 20th Century Fox.
They rebranded.
Well, it would stay Sony, and it would
Yeah.
probably be like a sister company under its own umbrella.
Yeah.
They wouldn't dissolve the company. They would just be like, well, it's its own thing.
Yeah.
I mean, they're in talks to do it, so there's a way.
Yeah.
I mean, before it's all said and done, we'll be spending Disney dollars. Right,
Yeah.
Trav?
And I'm
Mhm.
so, but what are we gonna watch next week?
Are we watching Snake Eyes?
I'm down with it. I mean,
We're gonna watch it
it's
this week.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's there, so why not? You know,
and then
and
we'll
it'll be
fucking. Well, what?
it'll be a nice contrast. We got the Green Knight. You know, something that was too hard for some people to understand. We're gonna, mix it
Oh
up
yeah,
with a
this
little
should
bit
be
of yeah,
night and day here.
easy. Yeah, easy peasy, beautiful cover girl.
Mm-hmm.
So
Snake Eyes.
I'm excited. I'm ready for Snake
The
Eyes.
trailer looked good.
Yeah, and
So
maybe I think I have a theory. All right, I have a theory that they're going to use, of course, Snake Eyes to try to reboot the fucking
that's what it looks
GI
like.
Joe, which is good. Like, use a character and use it as a jumping off point because they could have done more with those GI Joe flicks. So
And I like the way this one's leaning a little more.
yeah, more to the east.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I got you. I got you.
But yeah,
Yeah, that's all I got,
next
man.
week Snake Eyes. Checks in the mail.
Yeet.